dual sport motorcycle is a type of motorcycle which is meant for varying degrees of off-road use while still being street legal. Now, the Kawasaki KLX 230, which as we know is a dual sport motorcycle, is an outright off-roader going by that definition. Which is quite obvious by the way it looks and what the spec sheet suggests. However, who is the bike for and how good is it for what it is meant for? I'm going to talk about all of that in this video by putting the KLX 230 through its paces at this beautiful off-road location, while talking about other important aspects that are important while owning the KLX, such as the fuel efficiency, what kind of city riding experience it offers, the level of comfort at your disposal, and more. So stick with us till the end of the video. But before we move ahead, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon if you haven't done that already. The KLX 230 can be considered an entry point into Kawasaki's world of motocross and dirt bikes. You see, Kawasaki has been selling its purpose-built KX and KLX series of motorcycles in India since a long time. They have an extremely strong off-road legacy, but they are quite expensive. They are meant for pro riders who do some hardcore stuff, and they are not street legal. So if you want to start somewhere, the KLX 230 could be a perfect tool in terms of the kind of off-road abilities it brings to the table, and it is street legal and it is beginner friendly in terms of how the dimensions are, the kind of seat height you have on offer, how the suspension has been designed and engineered, and the way the engine delivers power. And unlike Kawasaki's KX and KLX purpose-built motorcycles, this is street legal. So you have a headlamp, tail lamp, turn indicator, that awful looking sari guard, and tires which are meant for on and off-road both. So if you want to ride the KLX 230 to your desired off-road location, you will not have to load it on a pickup truck. You can just ride it to your favorite trail. Now, having talked about the significance and positioning of the KLX 230 in Kawasaki's portfolio, let's dive into what kind of riding experience it offers. And we start with my favorite part, off-road. The KLX 230 is fast, playful, and extremely easy to ride off-road. It inspires you to thrash it, jump it, slide it, drop it, pick it back up, and repeat. A major credit for that goes to its narrow design from the tank to the tail and the feather-light curb weight of just 139 kg. With that kind of motorcycle under you, you are not scared to push your limits and try things you have never done before. Be it belting down a straight dirt patch or snaking your way through a fast and technical section. But the real stars of the show which contribute to an amazing off-road riding experience are the dimensions and the components. Now what you have at your disposal are 21 18-inch spoke wheels with dual-purpose tires and long travel suspension. To be specific, the front and rear offer a travel of 240 mm and 250 mm respectively, and then you have a massive ground clearance of 265 mm, all of which together deliver a riding experience, or they make everything feel insignificant which would otherwise feel daunting on most motorcycles. Picture this, you approach a huge mound of hard-packed dirt at speed thinking you are going in too hot, but then the motorcycle goes over it, the front wheel gets some airtime and the rear doesn't even leave the ground. That's the kind of flexibility the geometry and components of the KLX offer. It's not that the suspension of the KLX doesn't bottom out at all, it is quite soft after all, but even when it does, the motorcycle doesn't instantly lose composure or control. Adding another layer of fun and accessibility is the 233cc single-cylinder air-cooled engine, which, although it doesn't sound loud or brappy, offers loads of low-end grunt and a sharp throttle response. So, even if you're not paying much attention to your gear selection or running a couple of gears higher for a given speed, the KLX still pulls strongly on rolling on the throttle. While the throttle response or power delivery is not scarily alert, there is enough punch to get out of tricky situations and go thrillingly fast off-road. You can turn off ABS for front and rear both wheels, which gives you more control over the bike. Braking hard and sliding the rear is not scary, and you always seem to have the bike in your control. The tires, meanwhile, could do with better grip. If the pressure is not low enough, the front end keeps feeling squirmy and gives you a sense of losing grip easily. Now the seat height of 880 mm is quite tall, but that is on paper and the spec sheet doesn't tell you the full story. Now for my 5 feet 11-inch frame, getting on the motorcycle and getting both my feet flat on the ground on both sides is extremely easy. Now even for shorter riders like Ajinkya from my team, who is 5'7", even he can tiptoe properly on both sides, which is good news. Now the reason for this is the narrow design of the motorcycle and the seat and the soft rear suspension, which sinks in quite a bit with the rider's weight. Now once you're on the motorcycle, you have a seat which actually extends quite far ahead till the fuel tank, and because of that you have a lot of space to move at the back and at the front. And even the fuel tank, this 7.6 liter fuel tank, is so small that grabbing onto it is extremely easy, and you have a handlebar which is placed and positioned and designed in such a way that it gives you an ideal dirt bike or motocross style riding position. Now when you're standing up and riding, again, because of the narrow design, grabbing onto the fuel tank or the midsection of the bike is really easy, and the handlebar is placed in such a way that you don't have to bend down too much. But I just feel that the foot peg should have been positioned a little lower, so I would have been a little more upright and standing up more naturally while riding. But that's just me nitpicking. Most of the aspects which make the KLX 230 approachable off-road also make it a fun and friendly bike to ride in the city. The engine offers great low and mid-range pull, and that means darting ahead from a traffic signal or pulling off overtakes is easy. The engine is also tractable and it doesn't mind chilling at 40 kmph in 6th gear. Adding to the convenience is a light clutch and a reasonably slick gearbox. On an open stretch off-road, it feels the most comfortable at 80 to 90 kmph of speeds without much vibration to be felt. It can even do 100 kmph and more, but that's where the bike starts feeling buzzy and the engine starts showing a sign of strain. Do note that this is an old engine and it clearly feels like that. It sounds crude and mechanical, and there are some vibes to be felt almost all the time. The narrow design and 139 kg of curb weight make it a very zippy bike to maneuver your way through traffic. And adding to the willingness to turn in are these extremely narrow tires. Now it should be noted that these tires, while they have decent grip, the feel and feedback is missing, and they deliver a very strange and unusual kind of feeling, mainly because of the tire compound and the way the tread pattern has been designed. So it's very difficult to figure out what these tires are doing under you at any given instance. As expected, bumps and potholes are handled as if they are a joke to this motorcycle and its suspension setup. It glides over small rumblers or road joints without sending any jolt to the rider, and it rarely bottoms out over the nastier stuff. The rear sends a kick at the back on crossing taller speed bumps, but it's never obnoxious. One of the traits of such soft suspension is that the front dives too aggressively even under normal braking. It feels a bit odd initially, but you get used to it over time. Even the stopping power, especially from the front disc, is quite strong and inspires a lot of confidence. Since it looks different from most motorcycles on Indian road, it also attracts a lot of attention from the onlookers. And then there are quality levels which are extremely impressive for this class. The way the bike has been put together, it is almost unbreakable. Now the KLX 230 is as simple in terms of features as it is in terms of equipment. You have all the crucial stuff like an LED headlamp, an LCD instrument cluster, which only shows you the important stuff while it misses out on a gear position indicator or tachometer, but it has Bluetooth connectivity, so you can pair it with your smartphone and get message and call notification, but there is no turn-by-turn navigation. Optional accessories include a rear luggage rack, a USB charging port, and a slightly lower seat, and that's about it. We feel there should have been more stuff on offer, like a more data-intensive instrument cluster and maybe assist and slipper clutch and traction control, but maybe that's just asking for too much from a dual sport motorcycles, which are meant to be very simple and rudimentary kind of offerings. In our mileage test, we obtained a fuel efficiency of 38 km to a litre. But do note that this was majorly done on the highway with conservative riding. City usage might return a lower fuel efficiency. The Kawasaki KLX 230 is one of its kind in India. It is Japanese, it is nimble, it is durable, it is quick, it is light, and it is extremely capable off-road while being beginner friendly. It's a kind of motorcycle you would not think twice to put into a tricky or treacherous situation, because escaping out of danger will be extremely easy because of its manageable nature. The overall package comes together very nicely to give you a very playful motorcycle. Now, to address the elephant in the room, the price tag. At Rs 3.30 lakh ex-showroom, it comes across as a very exorbitantly priced package. On the more affordable side of the spectrum, you have the X-Pulse 200 with Rally Kit, which I believe can do almost everything that the KLX can do except for being as light as the Kawasaki. And then if you want something more modern and more sophisticated, you have the new X-Pulse 210, which I recently rode, and it came across as a very likable motorcycle. And with Hero offerings, you have the benefit of cheaper service and spares. Now, at the end of it, it all comes down to your personal choice. Even if you're ready to spend as much as the KLX demands, it's worth noting that it's difficult to have it as your primary, as your only motorcycle. It can be your second or third bike. And it comes across as a very focused motorcycle. If you want to upgrade to purpose-built hardcore KX or KLX motorcycles in the future and want to be a part of a premium brand like Kawasaki, then the KLX 230 would be a wise choice. This is Anuj signing off for now.